get appalled at. I'm blacker than Nina the Samoan. I just want freedom and want all these people left alone. How in the world is that chapping you? Laughable, you catch an attitude. Glad that you going back.
You know, just when I thought it was over, it just continues. The snowball just continues to go and build momentum. Now Rob Van Dam and Ric Flair have heat because Rob Van Dam, I guess a couple of days ago, finally sat down and watched Dark Side of the Ring, in which people were saying he kind of buried Ric Flair. Then Ric Flair had a problem with it. And then Rob Van Dam had a problem if Ric Flair has a problem. So it's ridiculous. Let's get into this. Rob Van Dam is learning a very valuable lesson about the journalists. Part 1. They take you out of context. So here's what Rob Van Dam had to say on Twitter. Just watch Dark Side of the Ring. Heavy. Some insight for those who can handle it. 1, I haven't seen Ric Flair's dick. My comment about fans shouldn't see him doing the helicopter was a response to Dark Side of the Ring telling me that's what they were told. They shouldn't. I don't want to see it either. 2, I said trying to make her touch him, referencing to his body crowding her space and her backing up like bad breath was in her face. I thought maybe they were playing, from seeing a similar scene at the hotel bar. But I wasn't interested in naked Rick. Still ain't. I tried to sleep. A fan asked him, can you confirm to us, to the best of your recollection, Rob, did you see Ric Flair specifically grab her hand and place it on his genitals? This is what the majority of people believe you said, looking for a one-time tweet out there for clarification for everyone. Rob Van Dam responded, I can confirm. I didn't see that, and I didn't say that. Creative editing will have people hearing it different ways. So from the place that they put it, made it seem like he saw Ric Flair crowding the space of Heidi Doyle. And now people believed he actually sat there and watched Ric Flair sexually assault Heidi Doyle. Now Rob is saying, nope, I didn't see that. I didn't say that I saw that. I just told what I saw. And that is Ric Flair standing off to the side with the woman in the galley area. That's what he saw. He didn't see him forcefully make her touch him or anything like that. So Ric Flair then responds that, that a man tried to ruin his career or trying to, what was it? Let me try to find the exact words. Well, that's the gist of it. That a man tried to ruin his career. To which Rob Van Dam responded when a fan said, as if Rob would have the stones to stand up to Flair. Rob Van Dam said, tell him, meet me outside. Weird Deuce West, join him. Because this guy's named Wes Wander. Okay. So, for starters, Rob Van Dam ain't about to fight 70-year-old Ric Flair. It's just not, well, he's closer to 80 than 70. That's not about to happen. But the big picture here is that when you sit down to do these documentaries on these controversial subjects, you do not know. Once you release information out of your mouth, out of your vocal box, you don't know what the other people have said, and you don't know where they're going to place that information in the documentary. Rob is like, well, sorry, but I didn't see that. And now, there's people covering that Rob Van Dam kind of is backing off of this whole thing. But nobody's really responding. Now everybody's kind of moved on to the next thing. Ric Flair is canceled. Tommy Dreamer is canceled. Rob Van Dam like, wait. I didn't say that. Everybody's like, yeah, whatever. We're past that already. You were used as a witness to discredit Ric Flair. And now you're like, wait a minute. This is creative editing, quote unquote. And everybody else is like, you know what? We're good. We got what we needed out of this whole situation. Now let's move on. And Rob is learning a very valuable lesson about this stuff. And I'm sure he's probably still going to do other interviews. Man, look, that's just the way the game goes. It's just how it works. So I decided, because, I don't trust the media, that I go to Rob Van Dam's Twitter page. And there's a treasure trove of other stuff, and he's still talking about the subject. So Rob says, I don't know why they would stop what appeared to be consensual fun, but for sure they never would have been there in the first place because they sound socially inept and wouldn't last past their imagination. This is in response to fans asking him why he didn't do anything, right? Because he's saying like, hey, it seems consensual to me, why would I stop people having fun? This tweet, by the way, was before the one when he told Ric Flair to meet him outside. So again, whoever posted in this thread, whoever posted the news that I just read from, did not include all of Rob Van Dam's tweets on the subject. Rob Van Dam, sitting in his airplane seat, sees Ric Flair with his lady. It appears to him to be consensual. He decides not to pay it no mind because he don't want to see Ric Flair naked. He tries to go back to sleep. He tells them that. They edit the footage and put it in the goddamn documentary to make it seem like he was actually watching Ric Flair force himself on this woman. That's the world that we live in now. He continues, in a different tweet, like two or three tweets later. He says, somebody asks, do you not get the difference between a couple holding hands and a man exposing themselves to a stranger just trying to do her job? And Rob says, if you're talking to me, yes. I didn't see anyone exposing themselves to anyone. At least not on the airplane. I saw as much a younger wrestler do the helicopter in the men's room with just us boys. Was that a sexual assault? And on who? Serious question for you geniuses. In other words, he has saw wrestlers do this before and didn't think it was sexual assault. Nobody's gonna report that. He said Ric Flair is the safest worker for him to work with. Somebody says, can we talk about anything other than this subject now? And Rob Van Dam said, is it not interesting though? Not to mention a teachable moment for those who pay attention. These marks think they know how wrestling works and they haven't figured out Hollywood yet. So very true. Another fan said, RVD said himself that they edited it, and I am damn sure that they edited it. People shouldn't believe this type of bullshit, and they shouldn't throw heat to anyone. Rob Van Dam said they had several versions, chose a narrative, and edit footage to support that choice. I'm not mad at them. That's how it works. I forgot how many people on the other side of the TV screen don't know how it works. It's always been that way. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. There have been so many people that have been interviewed, specifically by news channels, right? There was a thing several years ago. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Lupe Fiasco, the rapper. And he was being interviewed by, I want to say, some guy from Fox News, and he was just getting eaten alive. I mean, if you sat there and watched it, you'd think that Lupe Fiasco couldn't put two sentences together on his own. You found out later that it was a taped interview that they kind of chopped up a little bit. And then you see that quite often. There was several interviews with like Jordan Peterson, where he would do these taped interviews for like Vice or other types of news media, and they would chop up his interviews to make him answer questions that he was never asked. Then it would be through public pressure and public demand that they released the unedited footage that you would actually see how he discussed certain subjects. The Jordan Peterson one was a pretty big deal, because it was the whole, can men and women work together, and should women be able to wear makeup in the workplace? Like, people didn't understand what he was trying to say. Even with the edited footage, you can understand what he was trying to say. But when it edited the way that it was, you would think that he was a crazy misogynist who says women shouldn't be in the workplace and women shouldn't wear heels and women shouldn't wear makeup. But what he's saying is that heels and makeup are sexual signals in the workplace, because the point of those things are to get attention. And if you get the attention, how can you then claim that you were sexually harassed when you were eliciting the attention by wearing sexy heels, sexy dresses, and yada, yada, yada in the workplace? right? And he was just, posturing that idea. It's not even that he believed it. He was just throwing it out there to the interviewer to see how the interviewer will respond. But once he did that, Vice chopped it up, and it's the same damn channel that did this to Rob Van Dam. It was Vice. And they ended up having to put the full unedited thing online. There was another guy. I don't know if you guys are into comic books, but there was another one. What was the guy? Diversity in Comics. He went and did a interview for this guy from Comedy Central. And his interviews were chopped up and re-edited to make him sound like a crazy misogynist. And he never should have done the interview in the first place. And then there was this guy. He had did an interview with the same Comedy Central comedian. I don't know what his name is because I don't complete that stuff to memory. But he double recorded it. Like he recorded them recording him, right? So when they put out their edited, chopped up version, he put out the unedited version and caught them lying. And I think that actually kind of led to the guy's show being canceled. Like, they do this stuff all the time. Like when I see people all the time, YouTubers like Sargon the Akkad or whatever, Sargon of Akkad, they would try to do these interviews and they would do them, and they would get chopped up, and they would say it was quote unquote for time. They would chop it up for time, but it didn't make you sound like an absolute maniac, and the interviewer sounds like a genius, but it's chopped up quote unquote for time. Joy Reid literally did something like this to Christopher Rufo. They would and she did it to James Lindsay as well. So for a long time, smarter people would say, "I'll do the interview, but it has to be live." And then they would say, "Oh no, we're not going to do a live debate. We're not going to do a live conversation. No live." And Dark Side of the Ring can't be live. The only thing they can do is release the raw footage. And the raw footage with the raw questions. That's the best they can do. And hell, they can even edit that if they wanted to. Because they're the ones who have access to it. And in a lot of these situations, you cannot record their recording because they own the intellectual property. So that's exactly what happened when the guy recorded the Comedy Central dude. They ended up taking his video down because it's Comedy Central's intellectual property because he had to sign over for it. But it was there on the internet long enough for people to know that, this guy, the Australian comedian, was full of shit. It was out there long enough for the people to know it before Comedy Central had it taken down. That's why you don't trust the media. And I mean completely. Even if you email conversations, phone call conversations, if you cannot guarantee that you have some version of the conversation, you don't do it. Somebody was very smart. I believe it was, oh God, what's the guy's name? He used to do Outkick. Now he does his own thing. He's a sports reporter. Whitlock. Jason Whitlock. Is it Jason Whitlock? And he was questioned online. Or it might have been Clay Travis. It might have been both of them actually, where they were being grilled by mainstream sports journalists. And instead of answering the questions and then sending it back in an email so that the journalists could chop it up and do whatever they wanted to with it, they made videos responding to the questions. So I thought that was like really smart. That's a really smart way of getting away from giving information to these people who are going to misuse the information. It's very smart. So that was a lesson learned from Rob Van Dam. But he continued, and somebody responded to him, "To be fair, Rob, for all the stupidity and hassle this episode has caused you, is it safe to say that it isn't worth working with these people again? Since they clearly painted you in a bad light, you should not have to justify the truth to every entitled idiot that thinks that they know." Rob Van Dam said, "I say about 90% of the articles I've read with my interviews are changed somewhat, although not always as impactful. I'm used to it. I am surprised that people can hear the facts afterwards and still ignore them for their own suitable comprehension, though. But that's people." And he put out a shrugging emoji. And that was the last thing he really said about it. And this was on September the 23rd. So as of September 23rd, he's probably still answering questions about this crazy thing. But the media cannot be trusted. And Rob Van Dam, the crazy thing is he seems to know that. And he kind of understands that when he does interviews, they're going to be edited. And of course they are, because people are not going to put out raw data and raw information. It's supposed to be, put together in a narrative form. But in certain situations, it's probably not smart to do that, especially when it's incriminating other people. And the worst thing, in a lot of these examples that I gave in this video, it was people talking about themselves. Diversity in Comics trying to defend himself to some guy from Comedy Central. And then they take the information and chop it up to make him sound even more crazy. Sargon doing interviews and that happening. Jordan Peterson, same thing, it happens. But very few people are just like, hey, it is what it is. And some subjects, I wouldn't even talk to the media about. Anything that involves a crime that I didn't see actually myself, I wouldn't even be talking to the media about it. It sounds ridiculous. And you never know what their narrative is going to be. So now Ric Flair's mad at Rob Van Dam. Ain't nothing he could do about it. He's 70, closer to 80 than 70. What are you going to do, whoop his ass? It's not going to happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort, so question as if you worship.